Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the most important sign that your manifestation is coming. And before we start, if you're new, make sure that you subscribe. And yeah, let's hop into the video. When it comes to your reality and your experience, your perception is everything. Your perception is the filter and the lens in which you view the world and in which you see the world and you see yourself and how you see yourself in your world and in your reality. So everything that is happening around you doesn't necessarily matter as much to you as how you're perceiving it. It's really your perception of your reality that's important, because that's really all that you see and all that you experience. You don't necessarily experience reality how it is. You're only experiencing your version of it, and everyone around you is also only experiencing it through their lens and experiencing their own version of it. So if you want to change your reality, if you want to make changes, manifest new things, maybe you want to change your 3D reality, then there's something that you are going to have to sacrifice, and there are some things that you're going to have to be willing to let go of. Maybe it's the narrative or the story that you've been telling yourself, or the narrative and story that you've been living by. Maybe that's what you have to let go of. Maybe it's your ego. Maybe it's a perception of who you are, or a perception of how the world is. Maybe one that isn't serving you anymore. Perhaps you have to let that go. Or maybe for some of you, it could be an emotional attachment to certain things. You could be emotionally attached to a story that you have on repeat in your subconscious that isn't serving you anymore. So this could be you, this could be someone you know, but I think at one point in our lives we've all seen this or experienced it, whether it was ourselves or someone around us. There's always going to be that person who feels like the world is against them, or that people are out to get them. And because they have that internal belief and they walk through life with that internal belief, then it's going to get reflected back to them, because that is essentially the lens that they've chosen to view the world with. And because of that, it's really all they see, and they will seek out things and experiences and people and events to basically confirm that story, because that's the story that they've grown an emotional attachment to. So they want to just reinforce that story and that belief. And then because of how strongly they believe in the story, they have to seek out experiences and things and people that's just gonna confirm it and make it stronger. And then that's exactly what their reality becomes. It gets mirrored back to them. Your belief becomes your story, and your story, the story of who you are, your identity, gets mirrored back into your reality. So if you want to make a change, if you want to see a change in your reality, a change in your 3D, then the first and most important thing that has to change is your story and your narrative and your self-image, your self-identity, who you think you are, who you believe that you are, and what you deserve. Because once that is changed, then your reality basically has no choice but to mirror that back to you. And one of the most important things about changing your self-image and changing your self-identity is putting yourself first and choosing yourself. And I think this is something that most people experience as they grow, but if you are living in a people-pleasing mentality, or if you're living and you don't really feel like you have boundaries, and you feel like people are kind of taking advantage of you because of your lack of boundaries, or because of your people-pleasing personality or ways, then that could be a sign that you are not putting yourself first. So in order to put yourself first, it can be, I think, uncomfortable at first, and it can cause a little bit of anxiety if that's just how you've always been, or if you have a hard time saying no to people. It could be quite difficult at first. The idea of it might seem a little bit scary, especially if you're non-confrontational. But in choosing yourself first, what you're doing is taking back your own power. And when you do that, what you're saying energetically is that you don't need anyone or anything. You don't need someone else's approval, or someone else to like you, or someone else's validation in order to make you feel validated. And when you do that, energetically, you become so much more attractive to people and things. Because whenever you decide to make a shift within yourself and say, I don't need whatever it is, maybe it could even be something that you've been chasing after for a long time. As soon as you decide you don't need something, then you just get an abundance of it in your reality, and this happened to my friend. She was in some kind of like on again off again relationship with some boy, and as soon as she decided that she was sort of done and she didn't want anything to do with him anymore, then of course he's like gonna come chasing after her and being like, please come back, right? Because when you decide that you don't need something, energetically you're taking your power back and you're putting yourself first, and that makes you so much more attractive to other people. And then the thing that you decided you no longer need, you're going to get an abundance of in your life. And to do that, what you want to do is just practice self-love, and even just recognizing that you need to put yourself first, that it's something that you need to do or something that you want to do. That in itself is an act of self-love, because already you're thinking about how can you take your energy back and stop spending all your time and energy on other people, for other people. And that in itself is an act of self-love. And as difficult as it might be to feel like you have to say no to certain things or certain people, it always helps me to think that when I'm saying no to something, I am also saying yes to something else. So if I'm saying no to other people because I need to put myself first, then that's actually an act of self-love. Because sometimes you have to set your boundaries and you have to put yourself first, because other people can sometimes take advantage if you don't set your boundaries up front. And as soon as you do this, you're gonna start to notice changes in your reality. You're gonna start to notice that people are going to treat you differently, and you're gonna see that you're starting to attract things a lot more easily because you're becoming a lot more magnetic. So choose the things that's gonna align you with what you need and what you want. Choose the things and the people and the places that's going to get you closer to your end goal. So when you're saying no to these other things, it's not just saying no. You're actually saying yes to your dream life. You're saying yes to the things that you want to manifest, because you're aligning yourself with those things. You're taking yourself closer to those things. So think of it that way, and hopefully that will help you. Okay, that's it for today's little video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!